Okay, in this video we're going to be looking at a review of data and analysing data. The main ones we're looking at are box and whiskers, and we'll do a quick stem and leaf and a dot plot, and we will go over the mean, median, mode and range. In the box plot, box and whiskers, things that will come up will be a 5-point summary, and once you have a 5-point summary we'll talk about Q1, Q2, Q3 and the interquartile range. Okay, so they're the things that come up in the box and whiskers. Stem and leaf and dot plot we'll touch upon again, and we'll use those statistical words. Okay, so let's have a look at the first question. Again, it's up to you whether you want to pause the tape and have a go or just watch me doing the questions. That's up to you. But if you are pausing it, pause now. Otherwise, let's have a look at the first answer. Okay, so we're given a 5-point summary. So the first number is the lowest score and the last number is the highest score. And then we have Q1, Q2, and Q2 is referred to as the median. And we have Q3. So we do a dot for the lowest score, a dot for the highest score, and then we do lines for the others. So we have a line at 5, a line at 7, and a line at 8, and we make that into a box, and then we just join up the highest and the lowest. Okay, so this length, this represents the bottom 25%. This represents the top 25%. And when I say top 25, all those numbers there between, so there's a 2-mark spread for the top 25, and there's actually a 2-mark spread for the bottom. And there's a 1-mark spread there, so we could say that part is a little bit more compressed than the others. But we'll look at analysing in a second. But the first one is just being able to draw a box and whiskers from a 5-point summary. So when you're given the 5 numbers, they're in order: lowest, Q1, Q2, Q3, and the highest. Okay, so for this next question, we have to find a 5-point summary and draw the box and whiskers. Okay, so we need to have the lowest, Q1, Q2, Q3 and the highest, and then that becomes our box and whiskers. So again, if you want to pause, do so. Otherwise, just stay online and watch what I do. Okay, that's the lowest score, 4. Now, this is the highest score, but it's a long way away from the previous one, so we're not going to count that. We're going to call that an outlier, and we're not going to use it because it's so far different to the other scores. When you look at these numbers, that score is way out, and so we don't use it. We call that an outlier. And again, you'll see like numbers that are way different. If they're not way different, if that had been 11 or 12, then we would use it. So what we're going to say is we're going to say that the highest score is 10. Okay, we'll still show 20 in the diagram, but it won't be part of the box and whiskers. Okay, so then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 numbers, so the middle of 7 numbers will be the 4th score, so that's Q2. Okay, and then looking at that back set of numbers, there's 1, 2, 3, so that's Q1. And looking at that set of numbers, 1, 2, 3, that's the middle. Okay, and then that's the outlier. So again, we've got to include the scores. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then over here is 20. And what we do is we just put a cross to indicate there was a score there, but it's not part of the data set when we're looking at representative. Okay, so we've got lowest scores 4. Now, in fact, we've actually got, this is really unusual in that the bottom doesn't have a whisker, and we're going to go up to 7, and then up to 8, and then we take that 8 up to 10 for the highest score. So this is interesting in that there is no bottom whisker because the lowest score and the Q1 are the same things. Okay, so that's unusual. Normally you would have a little bit of a whisker, but that's what it is. And then I didn't ask, but if you're kind of going to calculate the interquartile range, it's just Q3 minus Q1, so it's 8 minus 4. So that represents the middle 50% of the scores. Okay, so interquartile means the middle 50, so that's 50% of the scores, and just there. So again, sorry to not have a whisker at the bottom, but that was what happened with that one. Okay, let's move along. Okay, so here's where maths is sort of used, and we're trying to analyse it, and I want you to make 4 statements about what you see in the data. Okay, so let's say that this is represents girls and this represents boys for something that we've measured. Okay, so see if you can come up with 4 statements. Again, pause if you're ready, otherwise just watch and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're back, so we can say that the girls, so we're looking for 4 statements. So the girls had an outlier score at 35, represented by that. So what it means is there was no numbers in between, basically, so that was an outlier. So that's one statement we could say. Another statement we could say is that the middle of the box is the same. So we could say that Q2, which is the median, is the same for both boys and girls. Okay, so that's 2 statements. We'll try to make some more. We could say that the difference in the lowest scores, okay, the difference in the lowest scores was 5 marks, with the boys having the lowest score. Okay, so it's probably not worth a full mark to say the lowest score is 0 and the lowest score is 5 for each of those things. But if that's all you can see, then that's all you can see. Another statement we could say is that the top is different. So we can say the highest scores differ by 4. Differ by 5, sorry, with the boys having the highest. We could also say back here at number 1, we could say that the boys have no outliers. Why? Because there's no cross. What else can we say? We could say that the interquartile for girls, okay, this box here is much smaller than that box, so the interquartile range, interquartile for girls is much smaller than the boys. Again, there's lots of things. You could say that the bottom 25% of the girls ranges from 5 to 10, whereas the bottom 25% ranges from 0 to 5. There's lots and lots of things you could say. We could say that Q3 was the same for both, but there's a difference in Q1. So there's lots and lots of things to say, but try to be sophisticated. Don't just say the highest score for boys is 30, the highest score for girls is 25, and say that's 2 things. That's just one thing. If you're saying that's 30 and that's 25, you're really just saying one thing because you're talking about the highest scores. So just be adventurous and see what you can find. Okay, moving on. Okay, so now we've got a dot plot representing the results in a quiz. So again, this might be a question to have a look at. So the questions I've got is how many students, find the mode, the median and the range, and find the interquartile range. Okay, so again, pause if you want to, but otherwise just watch. Okay, so you're having a watch. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 kids sat the test. The mode is the score that occurs the most, which is 14. Okay, so we've got 11 scores. So the middle of 11, 11's an odd number, so the middle will be the 6th score. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. So the median will be 12. The range is the difference between the highest and the lowest. So that's going to be 5. Now the interquartile range, it might be easier to write out the scores to find the interquartile range. 11, 12, 12, 12, 13, 14, 14, 14, and 15. So we've got 11 scores. Okay, so we said, so there's 11 scores. So the middle will be the 6th score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then looking backwards, we have 5 scores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be Q1, and looking forward, we've got 5 scores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be Q3. And so the interquartile is 14 minus 11. So the interquartile range is 3. So hopefully that gives you a good idea on how to use a dot plot. Moving on. Okay, so this is the last question. It'll be stem and leaf. Again, you're given a little legend about what the numbers mean. So this has got 2 stems and then you've got 1 leaf. So 150 means 150, and I've said centimetres. So this is the height of a group of people. Okay, so here's some questions to do. Again, pause if you want to. Otherwise, just watch. Okay, so that's the highest number. So the highest height is 185 centimetres. Part B, what was the mode? The mode is the score that occurred the most. That's the most number. So the mode is 163 centimetres. And the median. So we have to work out what the middle is. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 scores. So the middle will be the 5th score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the middle. 163. Okay, so that is an idea about what you could be expected to do, especially the analysis comparing data between different things. Okay, that's it. Bye.